I hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, it's where I talk about twin flame process, twin flame consciousness. This video is going to be about the power of the present moment and how that relates to twin flame process. So I'm just going to start with talking about 0 point. So 0 point is, if you think about every element that you're working with on twin flame process, is your mind and your emotions. It's also your physicality. So that would be how you feel, inside your body, how comfortable you are inside your body. That relates, all these relate to everybody, twin flame or not, obviously. But and present moment awareness is for everybody. It's about law of attraction. But we'll just talk about it first of all, how it relates twin flame wise. Okay, so physicality, and then you've got your the energy, the vibration, the energy body, the spirit, the soul. That's the same. It's all the same thing. So we're going to call that vibration. So there's 4 elements that make up your experience here on Earth. So you probably can't see that writing. It doesn't really matter. It's more for me. Okay, so the ones that you'd be aware of then are the mind, because you think. Your emotions, because you feel. Unless, of course, you're a psychopath or a sociopath. But we're not talking about those because they're never twin flames, right? You've got your physicality. So you do feel things in your physical body, aches, pains, twinges, itches, moving upwards towards other things that we won't talk about, like serious illnesses that take you out of the game, all that kind of stuff. But just to say that you experience through your physical body your life. It's all about life experience, right? All these things. Your life is an experience of thinking, feeling physically. So you could just even say walking, really, or sitting down or deciding to stand up, that kind of thing. Vibration. So you're aware of those, right? You're aware of those 3. Your vibration, which is your energy body, which is your soul or your spirit or your higher self, whatever you want to call it. We call it vibration, really, because that's more accurate as to what it is, because it's a vibration. It is a vibration. It's energy, and that's what it is. It's like electricity. So your vibration is what you are when you leave your physical body. So once you go back to being vibration, you no longer have to think. There's no thinking in soul, right? You no longer have to feel emotions. There's no feeling in soul. And you no longer have to experience the physical experience of being in a body or a meat suit, as I like to call it, when I like to say, I can't wait to get out of this meat suit and go back to being vibration. Or I used to say that at my low points. Right, so basically your vibration is what you always are. Your vibration is 0 point, okay? So, because when you leave your physical body and you no longer think or feel, you're always at 0 point. You're always in alignment with your vibration because you only are vibration, right? So you're just pure vibration. The thing is, when you're alive, right, and you're made up of these 4 things are what you're experiencing, it's very hard sometimes to see the one that you can't see, right? Because you think, you feel, your physical body is going on, but you don't always see the energy. You don't see your vibration. A lot of people, they call it, we have the dichotomy, the split, right? The ego, which is the thought consciousness, basically. Lower consciousness, you'd call it, because it's lower, it's 3rd dimensional, it's physical existence. That you have the ego, which is made up of thought. Ego is thought, right? And you have your higher consciousness, which is vibration, which is a higher self, right? Which is no ego. There's no ego there. It's just pure vibration. Because it's not lower. It's not relevant to the lower spectrum. It's not relevant to the 3rd dimension because you don't. You only access it by kind of leaving your thoughts behind, letting go of your thoughts and letting go of your emotions, and in some senses also letting go of your physical body and moving beyond anything that's going on in your physical body. It's hard to sometimes even know that that's in existence, right? And that's the greater part of you. Your vibration is the greater part of you. It's not the lesser part. It's very easy when you come into a physical body and you start to exist in a physical body to lose all sense. I mean, some people lose all sense of higher consciousness, and they don't access it at all. They purely live in ego consciousness, in lower consciousness. At that extreme, you'd maybe say the people that don't believe in, well, they used to say, they used to ask, do you believe in God or not? Well, God is vibration. People that are complete atheists. I'm not saying they can be totally cut off from source, because nobody's cut off from source. Source is always trying to get in. Higher consciousness is always trying to access us, right? Because that's how it works. Because you are predominantly vibration. So of course, source, which is also vibration, by the way, and God, which is your vibration as well, is always going to try and access your physical existence because it's a greater part of you. So it's always knocking on the door, wanting to be heard, right? But lower consciousness sometimes will deny it exists and therefore not be allowing it in as much. I mean, it will still get in. Source will always find a way in because it is you. So how can it not find a way in? It's kind of like your physical body is here, like a little pea, and surrounding that is your vibration, which is vast, and that is also everybody else's vibration. When we die, we cease to exist in a physical body. We all become one again. That's what oneness is. It's a vibration of everything, right? So everybody is in that vibration that ever was or is ever going to be, that hasn't been born yet or was at some point physically living. So all of that, with the parts that you might have a relationship to, are always trying to access you, your dead relatives, for example, friends, etc., with a little, little prompts, you could say, to like do this or do that, which would be better for you. They're always trying to access you and like give you that information. Not all at once, maybe. But that's a different subject completely, really. But source is always trying to get in, and everything, and everybody that ever was is part of source once they go back to being vibration. So that's kind of how it starts off, right, with this understanding of present moment awareness, and how it gets there, because we're talking about 0 point, right, and 0 point being just vibration. So then we talk about what else is vibration: soul, spirit, higher self, God. If you want to call it God, source, if you want to call it source, it doesn't matter what you call it. Everybody that's ever existed, everybody that ever will exist, everybody you've ever known, everybody you're never going to know, everything that is apart from actual feelings, emotions about anything, or thinking about things or anything, or a physical experience of any sort, is what is source and what is vibration and what is 0 point. So when you're talking about 0 point and you're trying to reference it in your actual physical life and your experience of being alive, the easiest way to understand what 0 point is, because 0 point is vibration, and its vibration apart from mind, emotion and physical, is to first understand that 0 point is letting go. Because letting go is akin to dying. When you ultimately let go, you leave your physical body and your thoughts and your emotions behind, and you go back to purity of vibration. So you go back to like, there's nothing there, but there's something there, because vibration is what you are mainly. But there's nothing there in terms of thought or feelings about anything or physicality, right? So it's a letting go of all of that arrives you back into just purity of vibration, right? The actualizing, you could say, of vibration. You going back to what you actually really are, the main part of you of what you really are, your ultimate existence, right? Your unlimited existence. Right? That when you go back to that, that's letting go. You let go of all these other things. So letting go, and how it equates to the vibration, is the letting go whilst you're currently here and currently alive of those very same things. So that's how you can understand what 0 point is, right? When you let go of all your thoughts, when you actually don't think, and people access that through meditation a lot, right? State of no mind. no thinking. That's the one way to access 0 point. It's also letting go of your emotions about anything, feeling one way or another about things. It's letting go of that. It's letting go. Well, I have to tell you as well, the physicality and how you feel in your physical body. Once you start to work towards achieving 0 point in the mind, through 0 point through letting go of thoughts and 0 point through letting go of emotions about anything, you then start to feel a lot better in your physical body, because all illness in the physical body is created through the thoughts and through the emotions. So that will also you'll start to just feel more comfortable being alive in your physical body as well when you let go of these things. But then you also are going to be, in a sense, letting go of how you feel in your physical body, because you've let go of the thinking and you've let go of the feeling about things. So how you arrive at 0 point of physical existence is by letting go, right? Which is why they call it spiritual death, because it's the same thing. It's a different way of saying the same thing, right? Spiritual death is how you're going back to being spirit while still alive. You're going back to 0 point. You're going back to the purity of vibration, because you're letting go of everything that isn't, that you don't have, once you stop existing in a physical body, right? So that's what 0 point is, basically, and how you can understand. So you look at yourself in your life, wherever you are in your life and whatever's going on in your life, where you're currently existing in this physical life. The things to understand, right, and we try and put them in order of importance, I think, is first of all, you are predominantly vibration. So you're not even really a human. This is a blip. The physical experience that you're having as whoever you are is a blip. You are in time, you could say, and you are predominantly vibration. So you've got to take on that understanding, because if you don't take on that understanding, you're always going to be in some kind of pain, which is coming from believing that you are only this human that you are for this time that you are here. And it's pretty much the same as, you might not be saying it outright, there's no God, but with the way that you're living your life and believing that everything in this physical life that you got is of ultimately the majority of what you are, you might as well be saying the same thing. Do you see what I mean? So you could say the understanding that I'm predominantly vibration, and I'm always going to exist. You could say, I'm always going to be here, because you are always here. Once you die, you just become part of everybody else's experience. That's why, like they say, these dead people trying to get in and push you and prompt you to do the best thing, give you little snippets of information and things like that's what being psychic is, when you get that through. So if you open up to higher consciousness and you understand your vibration, you're going to get more of that through, because you're offering yourself up to receive it. If you're clamping down and you're looking lower, you're looking down at the floor and you're like, oh, this is what it's like being here, and it's not very good all the time and I don't like it and I wish it was different. You're not really offering up for more information to come in, right? If you let go and you go back to what you predominantly are, which is vibration, you're offering yourself up to all sorts of information coming in from wherever you need it, literally just popping in, like you call it, we could call that enlightenment, which is clarity, right? Which is actually coming from, we say, source, and source is everything, right? It's not out of reach. It's completely within reach, because vibration is what you predominantly are. It's not just, Anyway, so basically we could put that at the top of the list, right? So letting go will get you to 0 point. Understanding that you are vibration predominantly, and that all the information that you need on how to move forward in life is out there, and they're trying to get you in and they're trying to tell you what it is, because you're not here just accidentally, right? You're not here randomly. Things are not, people want to control their lives, right? Everybody wants control over their life. They want it to go the way they want. They want the things that they desire. They want all this stuff to happen that it's out of reach all the time. Right, but the thing is, the reason they don't get what those things are is because they're always focused on them not being there right now, right? Because they're in their thoughts and they are thinking about what is not around them and what is not in their experience, and they're uncomfortable in that. And then they're feeling uncomfortable emotionally because they haven't got what they would like in their life, right? And then they're feeling all itchy, twitchy, or pains in their physical body because of those things that they're thinking and feeling. So they're having a not very nice experience of being here. And it's kind of, it does kind of, there's this, like, you get back what you give out, right? That's in terms of your experience, not talking about other people. We're talking about in terms of your experience. So if you're feeling like that, mentally, emotionally, and physically, because of the mental and emotional, you're going to get that back continually, right? So, but if you let go of the thoughts and you let go of the feelings, whatever they may be, your physical body will feel better ultimately, eventually, because of that. But also you're going to, and you let go, right? And you say, what is letting go, right? Letting go of all the worries, letting go of all the fears, letting go of all the cares, letting go of all the feeling this way or that way about things, right? And then you let go of all of that, you're going to start to be in the area of 0 point where you get more information coming in and more allowance, right? Not only that, because the allowance that you get, you see, the allowing, when you let go, you allow things to change, because everything is energetic, right? Everything is vibrational. And what happens when you're in the thoughts and the feelings that aren't good, and you've got a situation in your life and you're thinking about it all the time and you don't like the way it is, and all you're doing is thinking about how you don't like the way it is, right? And then you're not feeling good because it doesn't feel good to not like the way that this thing is that's going on in your physical life. All of that is resistance to getting the things that you want, right? So everything that you want is already vibrationally manifest. So it is energetic before it becomes actual, before it becomes physical. Just as it is in your physical body, what actualizes in your physical body because of the mind and the emotions does so in the physical realm as well. So anything that you want or you desire or you would like or you would love is already vibrationally there. It's just that you can't see it with your physical eyes yet. When you let go of the thoughts about what you don't want and you let go of the feelings about things being wrong and you start to accept the present moment, which is ultimately what the letting go is for, you start to invite in, not only do you become more vibrationally you and less physically you and less egoically you and less pain body you become more aligned with everything that ever was or is that's vibrational, that can give you information. And that can make you feel a hell of a lot better as well when you get those snippets, because it also lets you know that you are vibrational. Because it's access to that. But also you start to match up therefore with all these things that feel good that you want in your physical life. All those things, everything that you desire, that you want in your physical life is coming from what you would love, right? In your physical life, because desires are always based around love. Ultimately, it's a feeling that you want, right? You want to feel good in your physical existence. So the things that you want, even, they could maybe even change, because really it's about a feeling. So it's about what would feel good, right? And that feeling good that you want in your physical life is also let go, right? Because what feels best is letting go, really. It's not having something to replace what's there. It's the feeling that you feel all right no matter what's there. Okay? So to get the things that come from feeling all right, you first of all have to feel all right in relation to what is already there. Because that's the ultimate letting go, right? So you have something showing up in your life, and then this is another way of looking at it, right? Something shows up in your life that's going on. So what are you going to do about it? If your ego consciousness, lower consciousness, the thought, and the thought, right, that you only have when you're alive would say worry about it, because ego consciousness is predominantly It's what we call the masculine, and it's thought-based, it's fear-based, right? So something's showing up in your physical life that you don't like the look of, right? First thing you're going to do, let's rephrase that. Something showing up in your physical life that isn't one of the things that you would love, that is in your vibration, one of the things that you desire. It's something different to that. So the first thing you're going to do, if you're in ego consciousness, is to worry about it, is to decide you don't want it, come out one way or another on it, right? Make a decision about it, decide you don't want it, and decide you don't like it, and be in the energy of that, all that, which is then going to transfer to a negative feeling about the thing, right? Maybe even a negative feeling about even being alive. Oh, my life never turns out the way I want it. You know, it's all those victim scripts that go on that we've all gone through and we all have, that are available if we want to tap into that. No, it never works out for me. I always get this. This always happens to me. I never get what I want. All this kind of story that we tell ourselves in our mind. This is the thinking, right? It could be any, there's many different forms of that script out there about things. It's almost like things come into your life, right, that then are an offerance of you tapping into that or not. You know, I'll refer back to my leak in the ceiling. Everywhere I've ever lived has had a leak, or I've had some kind of, and I know they say it's about emotions as well, but it's more than that. It's about what you're here to experience, right? So I could be that way about, it's wherever I live, I get a leak, or there's a water problem, or whatever, right? So, so things like that you then offer up as ego consciousness in relation to wherever you are in your present life and what's showing up for you, that is not going to allow you to move into the place where you're going to have what you want in your life and what you desire in your life, because you're matching it like to like, right? So you're matching what shows up with the same feeling about it. So if you change that, so if you have something, the thing is as well, nothing is random. It's not an accident. The things that you have in your life at the time you have them in your life are there. This is twin flame process, right? To teach you to love whatever is in your life. Because once you start loving whatever is in your life at the present time, in the present moment, you are offering up love. So that's why twin flame is not romance. It's not a romantic illusion, right? It's about becoming love in reflection to whatever your present moment is. And once you become love in reflection to whatever your present moment is, from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment, so you are a constant reflection of love, no matter what is in your life, then you become love in the present moment. Once you fully become love in the present moment, you are completing your twin flame trajectory. And you are coming into vibrational alignment, 0 point, letting go, pure vibration, source, God, love in the present moment. That's all the same thing, right? Oneness, love in the present moment. Then you are bringing to yourself all those things that you desire that you have appeared to be out of reach or that never come into your life. That's why twin flames go through situations that are unpleasant, right? It's why we are put in spots that are uncomfortable, whether that be physical, mental, emotional. It's an uncomfortable spot to be in, right? For example, myself, I've been moved to this. I was told to move to this location. It's like, I don't know why I came to this location. I do know, because I know all this what I'm going through, the twin flame stuff. But from an egoic standpoint, I could be so up in it, the grill, in resistance of where I'm at, right? And I've had to learn, actually, through being in this place, this location, to come out of all resistance in terms of the present moment. So that's actually why I was put in a place where I could experience the resistance against the present moment clearly, and then start to reduce that resistance by coming into a loving reflection of what's in my physical life, right? So that's why we're put in uncomfortable situations. It's why we go through uncomfortable emotions. It's why we are led to experience the cleansing of the thought process, right? Because the twin flame process we talked about before is the transformation of dark to light, which is the transformation of egoic consciousness into higher consciousness. So when you come into the light, it's not this isn't a random thing that you're going through. It's also not you can see it clearly, right? When you come through from egoic consciousness is dark thought, it's dark feeling, it's negativity. And that's present moment, right? That's present moment located. So it doesn't matter if you were to say, "Oh, I've cleared so much dark. I feel so much better than I used to," but you're still having negative thoughts and you're still feeling bad about where you are in your current life and you don't like it, then you still are clearing, basically. Because by the time you've moved fully from the dark to the light and transformed all of that, you will feel absolutely comfortable in your present moment. The reason for all this, and I could go on, right, with all of this about, and I hope that's understandable, how it's the transformation of dark to light, right, which is the twin flame story. So you don't have random, accidental, uncomfortable situations going on in your life. It's all for a purpose. It's all for you to transform how you feel and think about it. And how you transform is simply by letting go of the thoughts. Right, you can always come out in a thought of like a good or a decision, right? A good or a bad. That's what thoughts do. They decide. Is it good? Is it bad? So that's not letting go. Letting go is letting go of having to have a decision on it, whether it is good or bad. Letting go is acceptance of everything that is and not deciding one way or another on it. Right? As soon as the mind is active thinking, you're in ego. Feelings. The feeling about it, well, the feeling comes from your thoughts, right? If you let go of your thinking about a certain thing and having to decide on it, then you're going to feel much better straight away because you're not forcing yourself into resistance of feeling good, right? You can feel good about anything by just being simply in a state of no mind, right? I had this really interesting thing, and I won't go on much about my process because I'm going through a very specific trajectory towards this moon that's coming up. But I've had a really interesting thing happen a week ago, maybe. Schrodinger's cat. If anybody knows anything about quantum physics, there's this theory, Schrodinger's cat, and it's about a cat in a box. And the question is the cat alive or dead? And the answer is, we don't know unless you look in the box. So in terms of like anything, it is basically, if you don't focus your attention on it, then it doesn't have to be in your awareness, i.e. the leak in the roof, right? So ultimately, how are you going to deal with the things that are in your physical life that you don't like at the present moment? What are you going to do with them? What are you going to think about them? And that means we could say worry, but these things are even more refined than that. So it's like, be concerned about it, right? That means give it any attention at all. So it's not just having a better thought about it and then telling yourself, well, I must feel better about that because, let's look at it this way. This is a different way of looking at it. No, it's not that. It's not being concerned about it at all. It's treating it as though it doesn't exist. It's not giving it any attention at all, right? It's Schrodinger's cat. Because if you don't give it attention, it doesn't exist. And things that exist physically exist in your vibration before they become physical. So when you're giving the things that you don't like your attention, however much attention that is, you are stopping yourself from receiving what is better than that, what are your desires and your loves. So no attention at all is not thinking at all. It's not being concerned. It's being carefree. What is akin to vibration? It's looseness. It's freedom. It's carefree. You know, we've had all this stuff about throwing caution to the wind that's come out in like previous stuff that's come through for me from source. Devil may care, you know, all this stuff, right, is about source energy. It's about just feeling fine, not in relation to anything. It's like the fool starting the journey in the tower, right? He knows nothing, but he feels great about everything. So it doesn't come from wanting to like know more, or you know, that's resistance, because knowing from the ego is only thought based. Spiritual information comes from beyond the ego. It only comes from letting go, and then you will receive enlightenment. So where was I? Right. So yeah. So any kind of, if you still, that doesn't matter. I won't go into that. Right. I want to explain this bit now. So where were we at? Right. Because I wanted to go a bit twin flamey on it. So say, right, you have your vibration, which is everything that you are. Your personal work that you've come here for is the transformation of dark to light, which is the transformation of egoic consciousness to higher consciousness. Sorry, sometimes I have to repeat so I can get into the flow of it again and get to where I'm saying. Right, your personal work here is called twin flame. So it's a work in progress, right? It's not romance. It's nothing that causes pain, right? Although that would seem to the contrary, right? As you're going through this process, because it seems it's all about pain, because it's what's out of reach, isn't it? It's what's out of reach that you don't have. So it is simply a desire that is not realized. If you take away all the periphery, right? You take away the people, you take away what they said, what they did, what they look like. The energy of it is something that's out of reach, something that you desire. So it's a vibrational work, right? And how you are accessing this desire that's out of reach is through your process. Because the process itself, the elimination of dark and the moving into the light, takes you into the zone of receiving all that you desire that appears to be that once appeared to be out of reach. But you don't get all that you desire until you have cleared thoroughly all ego and move completely into what we are talking about, which is 0 point, which is vibration, which is a thorough letting go of everything in the mind and in the feeling, and because of that also the physicality, any pains, twinges, things like that. But you're here for a very specific work, right? So it's not just you in this process. There's another one that's in this process. Some of you might know who it is. Some of you might not know who it is. You might have met them, you might have not. It doesn't really matter because it's a work in progress. It's not really a person at all. It's becoming love, right? We said that before in previous videos. So feminine creator, we talked about this as well, so I probably won't bang on about it too much. Feminine creator principle, so you've got the two twins, right? You know this, each one contains masculine and feminine, dark and light. One works from the dark, one works from the light. That means that one works from creator principle and one doesn't. Feminine is working from creator principle, creating as they go along more higher consciousness. Masculine is following shortly behind, coming into more higher consciousness. By the time both have reached higher consciousness, which is 0 point, they are both going to be accessing everything they've ever desired. So we're talking a life change completely, right? A complete life change. But how you get there is by ignoring any decision inside yourself to have any kind of judgment, you could say, of the present moment that takes you in any sense out of your feeling good. And as you move through this journey, you're not going to know that at the beginning that you're even doing that. But by the end of it, you will. And you'll be able to clearly see how you are in response to the present moment. These two twins are connected. You are connected because you're connected, right? You're connected through mind and emotions. Physicality as well can be very similar, but not really. I mean, yeah, you feel them come through, but it's not really. Again, we kind of don't talk about that one because it's just a result, right, of emotion and mind. So these are the ones we look at, and of course vibration. And you're here for this vibrational work, which is becoming a match to everything you desire. And of course, when we talk about twin flame reunion, the twin flame reunion is put out of reach until you become a match for everything you desire, because ultimately the only reason that you're going through that is because you're given something. You're here to experience something that's out of reach. Because if you weren't experiencing something that was out of reach, how could you learn to change yourself in reflection to everything that is in the present moment so that you can become a match for what's out of reach? Because you couldn't go through it unless you had to go through the experiences of everything not matching up to what you want. And every time, what you're basically brought into here is the awareness of the present moment, isn't it? Because everything is based around present moment. Twin flame reunion is based around present moment. That's why they say it comes out of the blue, because it comes forth through vibration. It comes forth when you become a vibrational match to it, not when you think you want it, right? And certainly not when you're feeling bad because it isn't there and it hasn't happened or you don't have it. Because when you're feeling like that, you're not a vibrational match to it. Your vibration comes from your feeling. So as soon as you become a feeling great in relation to your present moment, you are in your, that's when it's going to happen. That's when it will pop out of the blue, the reunion, right? And even more than that, right, because there's two people involved in this. This spiral, right, your 0 point is like a spiral. That's why we'll do some cards in a minute, and I bet you the 8s come out. 8 is a spiral. And here we have thought and we have emotion, right, going in a spiral. Two people connected through thought and emotion. This is where you get twin flame telepathy. It's why you experience the dark night of the soul coming through the egoic purge, because it's the masculine coming through the feminine, and you're eliminating dark energy through experiencing the masculine's thoughts and feelings, and the telepathy, like we say, because the mind is connected, right? This is going on all the time. It transfers back and forth all the time, even when you don't know it is. It always is. And it comes through the physical body. You know, why you get these, it's like you could go to the doctor and say, I've got this, and it just will not go away. And there will be no reason for you to have whatever it is, this physical thing. It will not be based in anything. It's like having a hair without a root on it. It's not rooted in your physical body. It's because you're connected to somebody else and it's coming through. And it could be coming through because of how they feel about themselves and how they think about themselves and how negative that is, that then you experience something in your physical body that's coming from that. Not even that it's in their physical body, but everything is connected, right? Everything. Every time the feminine comes into letting go, you access 0 point, right? And it means it's calming down all the mind and all the feelings in both twins, because the feminine's a creator. So she's creating, she or he, is creating the 0 point that's necessary for reunion. So when you get to the end of this journey, right? When you are at the end of this journey, there is a distinct cutoff, right? The cutoff is that you are no longer going to be accessing any thought or feeling about your present moment that is counterproductive to having everything that you desire. And that is also not accidental. So I'm telling you that Not because I'm asking you to do it, that you've got to stop, but that you will. You will get to a point where you are clearly signposted, because you've come into so much higher consciousness, to know that. The best thing for me is to not access any kind of negativity in regard to anything that is in the present moment, right? And all that clears everything. It's this 8, right? Because this 8, this spiral, as well as the past, it's all the thoughts of the past, and it's all the feelings of the past. And in that, you have all that detriment, all that self-abuse, basically. Self-abuse is negativity. It's a negative thought, right? Yes, you go through specific incidents. So you might come from a really horrible upbringing. You might have experienced death of loved ones, horrible places to live, things that you don't like showing up. But all that, right? All that thought about any of those things that have occurred previously, you will stop thinking about them. You'll make it a clear cutoff inside yourself to not think about any of those things, because it's not where you access everything that you desire. By thinking about those things, you only access those things again, right? You're only drawing them in. You're drawing them into your present moment. A clarified present moment, a pure vibrational present moment, is a not thinking or feeling about anything at all. Right? It's complete and utter joy and happiness in the present moment. So you could have anything showing up in your physical life, right? At the end of this process, anything could show up. And it might be something that you would once have not liked, right? Something that you might have grumbled about or complained about or felt hard done by about, you know, or whatever it is that, you know, whatever mode you go into when something shows up that you don't like. And it's generally with everybody, it's something like that, right? But instead, what's the ultimate? It's like the ultimate no resistance of any of that, because all that is resistance to what you want, of course, is laughter and joy about it, right? It's like laughing in the face of fear. So it's not just going into no fear and feeling a little bit better, like we said back here. It's not just feeling a little bit better in relation to what's shown up in your physical life, or justifying it, well, oh, it won't go on for very long, or I'm not going to be here for very long, or anything like that. It's complete, utter abandonment to the present moment. Abandonment means like complete and utter elation at the present moment. Laughter, basically laughter. So anyway, so that's that. So I hope that makes sense. That's just talking about zero. So your present moment awareness basically is absolutely everything in this experience, and a relinquishment of any judgment of your present moment. Because your present moments are always showing up exactly as they're meant to be and giving you exactly what you need, whether you like it or not. Right? And that's the truth. So, and what is it going to give you what you need? It's going to give you what is going to force you at some point to accept just feeling happy about, despite of it. Not because of it, right? But despite of it, right? And not in a resistant way of pushing it away with like, pushing up against it, like, I don't like it, it should be different. But just, well, hey, it's here and I'm feeling great and life is wonderful and everything's fine. You see? Because when you're like that in relation to whatever it is that's showing up for you, no matter what, and you are completely owning your power over the present moment by doing that, because there's nothing that can come to you from the next, from that present moment. If every present moment is like that, that is not exactly what you want. It's going to bring you everything. And remember, all your desires are always in your vibration already anyway. Right? So that's that. I hope that has explained that. Happiness and joy, basically, in relation to the present moment is all that's required. Always. So just know that, right? And go for that. And that means you don't cord yourself into the present moment if it's showing up as something you don't like. You just simply let go of it. You let go and you turn in a different direction and you laugh and you have fun, right? And maybe you laugh at that, just laugh at that present moment, whatever it is, if it's showing up as something that you're not, you know, that the old you would have decided they didn't like it and gone down in vibration, as they say. You go up in vibration in relation to it. find more happiness in relation to it. You don't have to have a reason to feel happy. I mean, you might not feel that when you're at the start of this process, and I know that. But by the end of it, you understand you don't have to have a reason to feel happy. You just feel happy because feeling happy feels better. Right? Because if these two people are going to come together from love, you have to become that feeling, basically. That's how it's accessed. And I know now why I was told about playing Grand Theft Auto in a reading I did for myself a while ago, because it just takes me out of the present moment, and it's happiness and joy when I'm doing that. So, all right, so let's get this out, because that's a lot of clarity. Knight of Swords. And finding love in relation to everything. You know, I'm going to tell a story just quickly about these cards, right? So I've got several versions of this deck of cards. The first deck I had, I loved absolutely completely. The colours were so bright and poppy and just the right shades of each colour in them. And then when I got really mad earlier on in my process, and I didn't like where I was in relation to my present moment, I got very, very angry, and I tore them up and threw them away. And then I bought another pack, and they were completely different, and all the colours were wrong, and I really hated them. And it was got so much panic and anxiety, because I thought I'll never find these cards again. I really didn't like my present moment in relation to those cards back then. And then I bought another pack, and I found, the same deck. The ones that came to me were all right. They were good cards. They nearly looked like my last ones, so I was happy and I was satisfied again in relation to my present moment, because it was delivering what I wanted. And then they got a bit dirty because I was putting them down on the table without a cloth, and they got a bit dirty. So I thought I'd buy another pack. So I did, and they came, and they're covered in sticky fingerprints. And that just grosses me out, because it's like, ooh, that person's on the cards, right? So I didn't like that. That wasn't a good present moment for me. And then so I bought another pack, and the pack that came were great, apart from the High Priestess had been scribbled all over with ink, so they had to go back. And then I bought another pack, and they came, and they were a little different colour, but do you know what? I thought they were lovely. And then I got these, and these are the same colour as the pack that I second got, that are all the wrong colours, that were all the wrong colours, right? So it's like a really orangey kind of colouring, rather than the nice poppy bright reds and stuff. And this was just the other day these arrived, right? Not only that, but they're tiny tarot cards. However, when I got them out the packet, I was absolutely overjoyed at these cards. And I love these cards, right? And I just love them. And it's not because I've changed my mind. It's just because I've changed. I love everything now that shows up. Everything, right? It's I love the dinkiness of them. I love the smallness of them. I love the hand feel of them. I love the colours of them as a different thing, you know. So it's weird, isn't it, how I've changed from what once I would have been in so resistance to what was showing up, to now absolutely loving what's showing up. And it's just a fundamental change in the beingness, right, that you enter into. You become this feeling of loving everything. It's a practice, the practice of letting go, the practice of present moment awareness, the understanding that the ego is less than, and that if you're in that thinking mode, you're always going to find something you don't like. So don't think about it. They're always trying to get you to look towards something that is letting go, right? Looking into the garden, looking into nature, looking at Charlie the cat who's just popped up on the windowsill. This kind of stuff, right? Anyway, let's get these cards out. Ace of Cups, love and oneness, right? It's number one. Five of Wands, shifting vibration, changing vibration. Five of Swords, dark to light. That is the battle of dark to light, and that's basically what you're going through in your physical existence. King of Swords, that's the truth of the masculine. The Star, healing. Tower, shift point. Two of Swords, which is head over heart. Ego versus love, basically. And love is just letting go. It's not romance. Eight of Wands, coming and going vibrationally. And Wheel of Fortune, timing. And then underneath, the 8. I knew we were going to get an 8 because 8 is a spiral and it's how you find the 0 point, right? And how you find the zero point is by letting go of everything. It's not finding ways to feel better that are in your present moment. It's just letting go of all of it and deciding to feel good anyway. That's the ultimate of it. Okay? So that is the healing, right? And it's the healing for two people. The Star is always about healing for two people. And it's the healing that comes in the emotions. So it's not the feeling about the person. It's the letting go of the person. It's the complete and utter abandonment to happiness and joy that is the letting go of the person that brings the person back. It takes you both into 0 point. And at 0 point is where it all occurs. It's where everything comes from. It's vibration. It's pure vibration. Right, let's go on the... Let me go on the middle. Two people, Two of Pentacles. And did I go again on? No, on the bottom. Rebirth, the Empress, right? So it's what's bringing the rebirth for two people. It's the letting go and the feeling good in the present moment. You can just decide to not make a decision about the present moment and how you feel about it. And try that on, right? As a new mode of operating. Just choose to not make a decision about how you feel about it. And that's going to get you there. And it might feel a bit strange at first. But if you try that on for size and you keep practicing that, then you will let go, because you can't do any, because it makes you have to let go. If you're not trying to make a decision about how you feel about the present moment, you will let go. There's no alternative. It is letting go. I laugh about it. So you could say, I'm not going to feel good or bad about this. I'm just going to laugh about it. No matter what it is, right? Because that's how you get to reflect back only a good feeling, no matter what's showing up for you. You see, and that's a spiral as well. It's never ending. The work of that is never ending. Because you can go in and out of 0 point. As soon as you decide to feel this way or that way about something, you're out of 0 point. You're either going down in vibration or you're going ahead of yourself in vibration, right? Actually, no, you're probably just going out of vibration. You're going out of 0 point. Right, clarity, connection, temperance. The connection itself will take you in and out of vibration, take you in and out of 0 point. And then we've got wisdom, that we're one, all is one, right? That everything is energy, energy predominantly, not physical predominantly. So you could say, no matter how important you want to make your physical life and your physical existence, and how serious you want to be about it, that is not the wisest thing to do. Because the wisest thing is to just say, hey, this isn't all I am. I'll be here long after this meat suit has been shed, right? Wheel of Fortune, timing, brand new journey, 0 point. Coming out opposite that wisdom, right? And that's the healing. Because ultimately, the to hell with it in the present moment is what you're achieving, right? To hell with it. Everything is I'm just going to enjoy myself and feel fine. And if you achieve that to hell with it in the present moment, what is the one that you're connected to going to do in the present moment? To hell with it. Right? They're going to feel fine as well. Dark to light, 5 of Swords. State of no mind, letting go of the ego. That's the end of the battle. 2 of Swords, 10 of Wands, that's the expansion of energy. That's the possibilities that come in, right? Once you eliminate ego, anything's possible. Things you haven't even thought of. So just think about that. So you haven't even thought about the things that are possible. So there's no point thinking at all, is there? because the possibilities are coming from your desire. Desire isn't always thought, it's feeling, like they said earlier. Wounded warrior, 9 of Wands, change vibration. It's changing the vibration of the masculine. What's coming and going, 8 of Wands. Oh, 2 are coming out on that. What's on its way, again? Everything. Completion in the physical, 10 of Pentacles. Complete abundance is coming from. You're changing your vibration. You're changing your relation to your present moment. That's how you change the vibration. You don't change it in the future and you don't change it in the past because they don't exist. They're Schrodinger's cat. If you can't see them, they don't exist. So it's not thoughts of the past and it's not thoughts of the future that count. Because if it's not in your present moment, it's not existing. You can only ever reflect feeling good in relation to your present moment. That's all that's asked, right? King of Swords, 8 again, 8, connection in the mind. There's so much power in that, in just owning the present moment. That's what people mean by, that's what it means, owning the present moment. It doesn't mean standing in the present moment and feeling all dull and lackluster in relation to it. It doesn't mean that, oh, I'm in the present moment, okay. All right, yeah, no, I'm just going to stay in the present moment. Yeah, no, yeah, okay. No, it's like absolutely leaping around and jumping for joy in the present moment. It's singing hallelujah in the present moment, right? It's owning your power of the present moment. It's loving everything in the present moment because everything is exactly as it's meant to be. And not even because, oh yeah, and it's going to get me there. Because as soon as you start thinking that, you're getting out of the present moment. It's in relation to that actual present moment. So it's ultimate knowingness. My only focus is on feeling good right now. And that means happiness and joy and complete abandonment to that. Principles of happiness and joy, which is ultimate light in the present moment, right? Tower, shift point, manifestation, the magician, 4 things, like we said about on the piece of paper earlier. Is how they're all part of it, right? Mind, emotion, vibration, that you are, and your physical body. It's all taking part of this. It's all part and parcel of the same thing. It's just where you put your eggs in a basket, right? It's where you put, where do you assign the importance? Which do you put first? Vibration goes first, not thoughts. Yes, sometimes it feels very comfortable to have a negative thought, especially a repetitive one. Sometimes it's it's a usual feeling that you have, that feeling that something isn't right or that it doesn't feel good to be where you are in your life, right? And and also the ego always wants to be in charge. So it always wants to say you have to focus on worry and negativity. You have to worry about this. You have to worry about that. And if you worry about it, then you're not going to feel good in relation to it. But that's exactly what you should do, because that's what the ego will always tell you, right? It will always tell you that. And then it will say, yes, you're doing a really good job being here. You're thinking that things are bad and you're feeling bad because of it. And that's exactly what the ego wants from you. And that's lower consciousness. Higher consciousness is setting yourself free from the ego. And it's allowing yourself to feel happiness and joy despite the mind wanting to chirp in and tell you that you shouldn't be feeling happiness and joy, right? It's a complete liberation from self, right? It's back to soul. It's back to vibration. Because when you leave this physical body, you will just be in a complete state of happiness and joy. I'm not saying you should, but on reflection, you will be like, well, if you could think once you left it, you'd be like, well, why the hell did I spend all that time worrying? When really there was nothing to worry about. I should have just tried to enjoy myself, taken myself out of my head, out of my mind, out of my thoughts, out of my cares, my concerns, my very serious concerns about this life that I have, right? Because all clarity will come as well once you let go, remember? So you won't have to worry, because you'll be given little snippets that tell you what you will then be given information about what's going to happen through your own head, through your own connection to source. Complete enlightenment. Look now, present moment. They kept chucking this card out for me, right? This is even this week, right? This week. And I was having a good laugh at it, because I was like, you're always throwing this card out about now, And I didn't even realise. It was only when I kind of walked. I went for a very long walk, and I was like, oh, present moment awareness, isn't it? Which I knew all about, obviously, but not that they were trying to tell me to focus on present moment completely, utterly and completely. Anyway, right, so that's that. I'm leaving that there. I hope that's helped some people. Have a very good full moon. It's in Taurus. It's lunar eclipse, I think. It's going to be amazing. All right, lots of love. Take care. Bye.